This is the Goin to the Hoop podcast.
Welcome to this week's Goin to the Hoop podcast. Jack Brady, Nicole Christine. We are coming to you, if you can't see behind us, Barr-Reeve High School. The Barr-Reeve Vikings have been on an impressive tear this boys' high school basketball season. Guys, more on Barr-Reeve in just a sec. We have to start the show with the story of Terre Haute, the story, one of the stories of college basketball right now, the ISU Sycamores. Jack, you were there Saturday night covering it. I mean, what an atmosphere. What a game. ISU beats Bradley.
Yeah, what a fun game to cover. I mean, the crowd, it was first sellout, I believe, in 5 years, and they have another sellout against Drake this coming Saturday, so it's great to see the community, support these guys, but the crowd was into it. They were loud. They really gave ISU that advantage. I mean, especially in overtime, ISU outscored Bradley 17-8, but, every guy, when they get on the floor, they contribute. I mean, Julian Larry fouls out. Xavier Bledson comes in, second shot of the game. It's kind of the dagger in overtime, and I think that really kind of speaks to the culture Josh Schertz is building there, and it's really been fun to cover.
It's been so much fun to watch too. And
I was going to say, Nicole, you've been, we've covered sports here a little longer than Jack has, but in my years here, it's hard to remember something that just is picking up steam like this team had. Baseball made their run last year. But I feel like basketball has piggybacked off baseball, and it just continues to.
Oh, absolutely. And, we love Grant Glancing, and he did so many good things for the program, too, but it just feels like there's this spark there that you haven't seen. I know I haven't seen since I've, been here and covering sports for ISU. It's so awesome. And the community, we're doing the Rally the Valley on Saturday. You're seeing the city get involved, and it just feels like it's a new chapter for ISU athletics and baseball, basketball leading the charge, but it's just allowing people to really get to know the program a little bit more. And Schertz is just the best person to lead it. We're so lucky to have him in the Valley.
Tough stretch for ISU. They're playing Belmont Drake back-to-back, kind of like they did earlier this season, but a huge game. Jack said it's sold out this weekend against Drake. Can't wait to see what the Sycamores do. Of course, we got girls sectionals happening this week. Girls sectional championships coming your way Saturday night. Boys hoops on Thursday. So big week of basketball. We can't wait to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Right?
This is the best time of the year in Indiana. I remember joining the station right around this time last year, kind of getting thrown into the fire. I know what to expect this year.
Yeah,
so
you're ready for it.
We're going to expect a lot of food at the hospitality rooms too, right around the state. Hey, we are just getting rolling on the podcast. Coming up, we're going to have a sit down, of course, with Coach Thompson, and Jack's going to sit down with 3 Barr-Reeve seniors. More on the Hoop podcast right after this.
Welcome back to this week's Goin to the Hoop podcast. As you can see, we're here at Barr-Reeve. I'm now joined by a trio of Viking seniors, Braden Knapp, Evan Waymeyer, and Donnie Miller. Guys, thanks for taking some time out of this week to come on this week's show.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks for having us.
You guys are having a great senior season so far, 14-1, 13-game winning streak in a row, but I know there are obviously, big goals ahead of you guys. Just my first question, just what would it mean for you guys to not only finish strong this season, but hopefully make a run deep into the state tournament in your last year playing for Barr-Reeve?
I think personally for me it'd be amazing because ever since I was little, watching the older kids in high school and I was up through the grades, they were always winning sectionals and going deep into the tournament. So I think to be able to experience that firsthand, I think it'd mean a lot to me. So
I agree with what Braden said. I mean, back in 2015 was our first basketball state championship. That was with Addison Wagler's senior class, and I watched that, and ever since then I've wanted it. And then the freshman year, whenever we won state again, I saw that, and I wanted that for us.
Following up what they said, I loved watching our old teams go deep in the state run. I always loved it, so knowing that I'm pleasing the crowd and everything would be nice. Along with that, we won one in baseball, so feel like it'd be nice to win one in basketball now.
Absolutely. No, and speaking of, I mean, the support you guys get here at Barr-Reeve for the athletics. Every time I've been at a game here, it's packed. Followed that run you guys made for baseball. They were showing up in Indy, wherever you guys were playing. Yeah. They were there. Just talk about what it's meant to you guys, obviously as seniors, to play for a program these last 4 years that has such great fan and community support.
This community, you can't find it much anywhere else. It's amazing. Just to know that you have the whole community behind you. You're playing for them, playing to win, playing for the school, the name across your chest. It's all around amazing.
Yeah, I mean, after a game, you go out to the community anywhere, and you just get told good job or anything like that, and it's just the support is unreal. Even in bad games, they say gave it your all or something like that. It's just unreal.
Yeah, they always have your back here. It's real special, and you got to take pride in the name across your chest.
Absolutely. I mean, you guys are having a great season. I kind of mentioned earlier, 13-game winning streak. I mean, just what do you think? Obviously, you had the early loss to Clay City, but for you guys, what do you think's been the biggest key for you guys to kind of, since that moment, you guys have been kind of on a roll and playing your best basketball?
I think, this year our scoring's kind of distributed throughout multiple people. I think that's kind of what sets us apart. We don't have one guy that scores the majority of our points. We can kind of distribute it. It can be one guy one night, another guy another night, and we just play for one another and we try to have fun out there.
We have a one-word saying this year. It's family. And I feel like after our Clay City game, we all came together in a way that I don't think our group ever has. And we're just a tight-knit group right now, and we all have a common goal.
Yeah, our chemistry is unmatched right now. We've been playing together. We've been playing for each other. And like Braden said, not one person really carries our team. So if one person's not doing good, we always have someone to back him up.
Absolutely, that next man up mentality. Any guy can step up on any given night. That's what makes a great team. I love that family mantra. I mean, just talk about playing for Coach Thompson. I mean, just what he's meant to you guys as your coach these last 4 years.
Well, not only, first of all, he's a great guy, amazing person. Off the court, just get to know him. Amazing guy to be around. But as a coach, he's there. He's a mentor for us. He helps us, not only coach but teach us about life and. He relates basketball to life, and he helps us learn lots on and off the court about basketball, life, all of that. And I love him, and I wouldn't want to play for anyone else.
Yeah, I mean, Coach is a very big follower in Christ. I feel like that's one of the major things that I love about him is every Wednesday we have a team Bible study, and we just go in and read the Word. It's just things like that I don't think other coaches do.
Right.
It's just things that separate him, and that's why I love playing for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like Waymeyer said, we put Christ first in front of everything, so we just let it up to him. Win or lose, we praise him. And, after a rough season last year, we just kind of all stuck together. Thompson was there for us, and he was there helping us, and we just grinded and got back at it. And now I think we're 13-1, 14-1,
whatever.
14-1, winners of 13.
13-1, yeah.
Absolutely. You guys are having a great season. I mean, enough about basketball. I've got kind of grilled you guys on those. Let's get to one of my favorite questions to ask you guys when we do this podcast. So, take me through a game day routine. You got any food you got to eat on a game day? You got any, pregame songs you got to listen to get hyped up? We'll start with you. Well, I mean, take me through what a game day
Well,
looks
normally a game day, through the week, we come in before school at 6:45. We got walkthrough, shoot around, so that's a game day routine. And then as far as everything else goes, I like, personally, after walkthrough, I like to go get a bottle of chocolate milk from Viking Mart, the gas station down the road. I feel like that's a necessity for me.
What kind of chocolate milk?
Prairie Farms.
There you go.
Chocolate milk. There you go. That's pretty much all I do. I mean,
Gotta have it. Oh, yeah.
Bus rides are always fun. We just kind of talk, chill, laid back, just
absolutely
enjoy it, and then yeah.
Well, again, like Braden said, morning walkthroughs. We always go to that. Then go to school, go to class. I always have the same pair of game socks though. I wash them, so it's not weird.
Superstition.
But like,
What are they like? They got something on them, or are they just the kind of normal socks?
bought them one day and we started the winning streak, and I haven't taken them. I've taken them off and washed them. That'd be weird, but like,
You got to wear them every game day. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So-
Don't mess with the streak.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's my only major game day routine. I mean, I usually get me some Taco Bell,
Yep. Absolutely.
get a double steak grilled cheese burrito. That's my thing. But I don't really have anything else.
There you go. Love it. What about you?
Same thing with the walkthrough. We have that every morning. Go to Viking Mart after, get food, get drinks. And then, I'm a big fan of stretching before my games, as they all know. I got a big routine.
You need to see him out on the
Yeah.
baseball
So
field.
next time I'm out of the game, I'll get some video.
Yeah,
Stretching
big
for the people.
routine of stretching.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a blast talking to you three. Good luck the rest of your senior season. We look forward to covering you guys. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Fun. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Going to the Hoop podcast after this.
WTWO Sports, your ultimate destination for the thrill of local sports. Where our community's spirit shines brightest. From around the valley, witness the pulse-pounding moments. Experience the adrenaline-fueled highlights that define every game. Guided by sports director Grant Pugh and reporter Jack Burney. Don't miss a single second. Your insight into the action. Only on WTWO Sports. Airing every day at 6 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Welcome back to this week's Going to the Hoop podcast. We are coming to you on location, Barr-Reeve High School, with the Vikings head coach Josh Thompson, state championship winning Coach Thompson. Coach, thanks for having us down. This is basketball country.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming down, and you talk about the show. And I remember when I was a kid watching Jason Penske when I was in elementary and junior high. So really appreciate you guys coming down and
Absolutely.
continuing the tradition of covering Wabash Valley hoops.
Penske hired me. I wouldn't be here today if
Yeah.
it wasn't for him. Speaking of hoops, Penske loves the hoops. You guys have been on a tear, 13 straight.
Yeah.
You look at that and it doesn't seem like, but you guys just continue to stack wins and beat good opponents.
Yeah, we started the year off and beat Washington, and that's always a good win for us, playing in front of a huge crowd. And then we went up to Clay City and dropped one up there. And obviously Clay City's having a really good year. We didn't shoot it particularly well that day. Clay City, you got to give them a lot of credit. But even though we shot like 19% from the field, we still led until 2 minutes to go in the game. But we left there with a little bit of a hollow feeling. And if you'd have told me that we were going to reel off 13 straight, I probably would have looked at you like you were crazy that day. But we've got a lot of guys back. We went 500 last year, but going into last season, we only returned 7 points per game. Between Braden and Seth. So we had a lot of shoes to fill. Losing guys like Hagan Knapp and Caden Graber, who started on our state championship team, and other seniors that we had that year. So those guys stepped into new roles last year. We went 12-12, and there weren't any big time naysayers in the community, but the kids definitely felt that. We had to have a bounce back season, and I know you talked to three of them, on the other segment of the podcast, but I've been really proud of the way that they've just kind of accepted the fact that people around here expect more out of us, and that's not a bad thing. People ask me all the time. They're like, "Well, what's it like coaching at a place where there's a lot of pressure to win?" And I said, "Well, why would you get into this business if you're going to coach at some place that don't care about winning?"
Right.
So our guys have really embraced that this year, and I've been proud of the way they've stepped up.
Coach, you guys can win in a number of different ways, but one of the things that when I've seen you guys play that I've noticed is just how good you guys are defensively. You might not score a lot on one night, but your defensive effort and every guy giving it his all on that end of the floor is really one thing that I would kind of say is the identity of your ball club. Just talk about, what if you guys take pride in that, side of the ball more than others, or
to be honest, if you're playing basketball in this part of the state, you better be good defensively because there are a lot of really good players, a lot of really good coaches. And so we feel like we have to be pretty good defensively. And we've got multiple ways that we can guard teams. But again, that goes back to the players that we have. That they're pretty diverse. And, it's not like we have to rely on our man-to-man defense, which is what we play most of the time. But we can come at people with different types of pressure and our matchup 1-3-1 zone. I feel like we probably have hung our hat on the defensive end of the floor because there have been nights where we haven't scored very well. Looking back a couple weeks ago there in the Buggy Bowl game.
Right.
I thought North Davies did a tremendous job of taking away the 3-point shot from us, and that's something that we've relied on. And we've shot phenomenally better from the 3-point line this year than we did in the past. This year we've been a little bit over 40% from 3 as a team, and that's pretty good. And they took away the 3-point shot from us, but we were able to win that game and not make a 3-point field goal.
Right.
And so, again, if you'd have told me we were going to do that, I would have said you were crazy. But our kids were good defensively that night.
And moving over to the offensive side of the ball, when the guys were out here talking, they mentioned how they feel like there's so many options out there on the court. And what does that do to strengthen a ball club, other than the obvious? It gives you options, but how does that inner workings help you guys in tougher games, tougher matchups?
I think one of the things that's important in coaching is to scout your own team. And I've got multiple people that help me with that look at our team. And I played for Coach McBride there at Bloomfield. There have been times this year where I've talked to him, and he's talked to me about different things he sees with our team. Our coaches, when they go back and they look at film, they make comments. I think about how would I attack us. And going back to what you said, there's a lot of guys that can score in a lot of different ways. And so that makes us hard to guard. For example, if you're going to zone us, I feel like we move the basketball really well. We play inside out. And so if you're going to zone us, you're probably going to end up giving up an interior touch, or you're going to give up a 3 on the perimeter. So, and we shoot it pretty well from the perimeter. So teams kind of, I think, are a little hesitant to zone us. And then offensively, I think our ball movement's pretty good. And these guys, we've run some Princeton-style stuff, entering into some ball screen continuity. And they run that stuff pretty well, but it goes back again to players. And our guys look for each other, and they know where the other guys are going to be at different times and different actions. And I'm wearing my Indiana State shirt today. I think if you watch the Sycamores play, I think that's one of the things that's really fun about watching them is they don't just have one guy.
Sure.
Obviously, they've got some really good players, but they've got other guys there on the floor that complement those guys, and those guys can hurt you if you try to take something away from them.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to touch on, people throw out the word family a lot, but Barr-Reeve basketball, it is truly a family, Coach. You guys have been, people say that all the time, but it is a family environment. It is a family down here at Barr-Reeve.
It's funny. We have our seniors each year. I don't know if you guys are familiar with John Gordon, but love John Gordon as an author. I love his positivity. I love the books that he's written with different coaches throughout the years. And one of my favorite books is The One Word Mission. And so we ask our seniors every year to select one word that kind of guides everything we do. And then we, underneath our sweatsuits, we wear that T-shirt to the games, and then that's our pregame shooting shirt. And so this year, ironically, the word is family. And so everything we do boils back down to that, whether it's, the things we do in practice, the things we do outside of basketball, it's our Bible studies that we do on Wednesday night. And everything relates back to family. And then, like you said, I've got so many of these guys in here that are related to one another. I was talking to a dad the other night, and it was just, it was, great to hear this. But he was talking about how this guy is a second cousin on this side, and over on this side, he's a third cousin to this other guy. And, there's just so much of that in our community. And it's in such a good way because we have so many people that come back. We're very fortunate. There are a lot of communities, I think, in southwestern Indiana where there's sometimes an exodus from the communities and people don't come back. And we have a lot of people that come back. And that shows in our basketball program. It shows in our school and the pride that people have in our community. It's, on Sunday afternoons, you'll see dads in here working with their sons. You'll see older brothers in here working with their younger brothers. And, and that's another thing about our community and our school is that our facilities are very open. I've worked in different places where it's really hard to gain access. And but our people also at the same time know that if they have access, they have pride in taking care of it. And so, not having YMCAs around and different things like that, it's great that our people have access and they take advantage of it and they respect it.
You kind of touched on just the community. I mean, I was saying, Barr-Reeve baseball makes a run to the state championship.
Yeah.
The fans were there every step of the way, no matter where the game was. This every time I'm here, the gym is packed. I mean, the support around Barr-Reeve athletics is really incredible to watch. I mean, what's it meant to you to, coach at a place where, they support the program, the athletes, and the students so well?
It's great. That support is here all the time. Just like I talked about, last year we were 12-12, and our crowds were the same last year as they were the year before, and they are this year. You talked about our baseball guys making a run. 3/4 of the guys in this gym back here practicing today are not just contributors, but huge contributors to our baseball program. And what Trevor and Nathan and Joe have done with our baseball program, they've just kind of taken things to the next level. And people ask me, they're like, well, do you think that hurts the basketball program? I don't think it hurts us at all. And, you know, last summer when our guys made the run and went playing baseball deep into June, it kind of took away from the June summer season.
Right.
Well, what that did is it also gave younger guys an opportunity to step up and to play varsity basketball that this year are on the JV team. And so it helps with the development of those guys. And again, I'm not a big fan of how many games you win in the summertime. It's what you do in November through March that matters. And so again, it's, you know, going back to the word family. You know, Trevor and Nathan and Joe, those guys are big supporters of the basketball program. Joe runs the clock. Joe Rodemaker, who our field's named after, a longtime varsity baseball coach, he runs the clock at all the home games. Yeah. So it is really a big family.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Now, I know you said it matters what you do through March. I know you want to get there, you want to go deep into the postseason, and you want another state title. What are some of the keys to getting that done for the Vikings?
Well, I'll tell you what, our sectional, and this is no secret, you guys know how good our sectional is year in and year out, and obviously this year North Davies is still at the 3A level, but they'll be back, and that just makes it even harder. You know, outside of Orleans and Lagodi, who are exceptional, there are also some other pretty good teams in there that have a chance, I think, to maybe knock somebody off. And but you know, Lagodi, I think, is really good. We were very fortunate to beat them over there back in January. We beat Orleans here in triple overtime. So it's going to take a tremendous effort. It goes back to defense. And when people see games in our area and they see scores, they typically see games that are in the high 30s, in the 40s, low 50s. And that tells you that defense is premium. So we've got to continue to get better defensively, even though I think we are a pretty good defensive team. And then we've got to have some actions and some things that maybe people haven't seen. Because, you know, if you just run the same stuff that you've been doing all year, these teams around here, these coaches are so good at taking those things away from you. So we've got a lot of improving. Now, the thing that I like is these last 6 or 7 games that we're playing starting tomorrow night with Jasper. These games all have significance, whether they're conference implications or, you know, we're playing Jasper, who's a 4A school that, you know, is just tough as nails defensively and hard-nosed on both ends of the floor. They're games that are going to prepare us for the tournament. And that's what I like about our schedule going into play in March.
Coach, are you ready to be put through the ringer? We've talked about basketball. Now some non-basketball. No, this is all fun. This is our random questions.
Okay.
And you'll go first, but we're all
answer.
answering the questions, so don't worry.
I don't know that you guys can be as tough as Mike DeCourcy is on the coach's show.
Probably not. Probably not.
Let's see with the first one.
So what is one high school subject you could take the class for and enjoy it? That one's an easy one for me. I'm a big history buff. And I teach physical education, advanced PE, and a careers class, but I used to teach social studies. And so I love history. My son, who's a sophomore that plays on our JV, he's a big political science history guy. So absolutely, if I could sit in Nathan Lester's history class all day, that's where I would be.
Awesome.
I'm going to copy his answer. I took all the AP history classes in high school. I was a big fan of it, so I would do it again. Might as well.
Same. Todd Green was my history teacher way back in Tennessee. I still love U.S. history. It's just fun.
I'm a history fan, but I am a big English nerd. So I love writing papers. I guess I'm in the right career for that. But yes, I work in words. So here you go, Jack.
All right, let's get a good one here. I'm going to pick this one. All right. What was your first car?
Oh, man, this is great. So I used to mow yards when I was in junior high. And there was a lady that I mowed at her yard there in Bloomfield. And next door, there was this old 1964 Buick Skylark. And it just sat there. So I saved up my money from mowing for 2 summers, bought that car, and my dad and grandpa owned a body shop. So I had access to metal. They knew how to do the body work. So we fixed up a 1964 Buick Skylark.
Awesome.
So that was my first car.
There you go. The first car I ever drove was my mom's Dodge Silver minivan. So
nice.
When I got my license, I was
I wasn't fortunate enough to get my mom's Dodge Caravan, but I drove.
That's exactly the kind of car it is.
I drove my mom's Dodge Caravan a lot.
Oh my gosh. My dad's Chevy Trailblazer. I got that as a hand-me-down, and that was a tank of a car. I miss it. I loved that car.
Not as much of a tank as a 64.
No.
Coach was.
But
We could have done
if you see,
inside
yeah.
the trunk of that.
Yeah.
Next time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be dope. I had a truck, 1991 Chevy Silverado, step side with dual exhaust, so you could hear me coming down the road.
Yeah, nice.
So that was my first car.
I love it.
There you go.
Always
Next.
good to hear the
Going?
first car stories. They're never glamorous, and they shouldn't be.
Exactly.
Oh, what album could you listen to without skipping a song?
Ooh.
And obviously we mean, MP3, CD, it doesn't have to be, but what album? Who wants to go first?
That's a good question.
I wrote this question, and I don't even have an answer prepared for
A
it.
little bit of an older answer. My dad's a huge Bruce Springsteen fan, so I'll go Born to Run. That's
That's a
really,
great,
really good one.
great
No,
pick.
that's a tremendous album. Got a lot of good songs on it. I'm going to go with the Counting Crows, August and Everything After.
That's a great
Lots
album.
of great songs. One of my favorite songs, Mr. Jones, is on that album.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Classic.
Yeah, Rain Man. It's a really good album.
I'm gonna go kind of old school too, and I would say either Celine Dion or Mariah Carey, either one of their like early '90s albums. I grew up on those, and I think you could
I
no
think we might have
skips.
listened to that in our
Yeah.
PE class.
Yeah, no skips on those.
Tom Petty's Greatest Hits.
Ooh,
Could do
yeah,
that.
that's
The
a
Rolling
good-
Stones,
That's a
Exile
good
on Main
answer.
Street.
Greatest hit. I didn't even think of that. Greatest.
Those
Or you could make a soundtrack too, because
True.
soundtrack has multiple.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Tom Petty. I saw Tom Petty live at Klipsch
Yeah,
Music Center,
yeah.
whatever it is, and they ended the show because the power went out twice.
Oh wow.
But the last song that he played that night was "You Don't Have to Live Like a Refugee."
Yeah.
And
Great one.
with the pink and purple lightning in the background.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
really cool.
Unbelievable.
That's a core memory too.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom Petty.
that's beautiful. All right,
last but not
last
least, right?
question. Okay, if you weren't in your current job, what would you do for a living?
I'll go. I mean, I minored in theater in college, so maybe I'd be on Broadway. Who knows?
Ooh.
I love performing.
something.
That's kind of why I'm in
Yeah.
sports broadcasting, kind of performing for an
We're
audience.
still waiting for a performance of some
yeah.
sort of that,
Yeah,
Coach,
yeah.
but he hasn't given us
Singing
one yet.
podcast.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You know what? You could sing the intro to the podcast or something. That would be
I'll
interesting.
pass.
I'd probably be a teacher of some sort, I think, or a professor.
Yeah. I say it all the time. I really don't think about what I would be doing. So
'Cause you love it.
that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I would know I would be doing something in sports. So
Yeah.
whether it was broadcasting or sports management or athletic, college athletics
Yeah.
director or something along those lines.
Well, don't tease us with the broadcasting thing, because the
Yeah.
next time we have an opening, we might hit you up for that.
Put him on the Hoop Show.
yeah,
Go
our
up.
regular guest.
That's
Yeah.
retirement down the road.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Special guest once a month.
What about you, GP? What'd you do?
Probably sports and
Yeah.
stats. I mean, I keep stats of all the games I attend, so probably
Yeah.
something sports stats related. Or something in food doesn't sound bad either.
No.
Who doesn't want to work around,
True.
maybe not serving food all the time, but eating food. I could
Yeah,
be a food-
a taste tester.
I could join
Yeah.
you there.
Yeah, it tastes tester. I mean, you got to have the hospitality rooms that makes
Oh,
it
yeah.
special around here too. Coach,
Yeah.
thanks so much
Thanks
for having
so
us on
much.
this week's show. We loved coming down to Montgomery and
Yeah.
talking basketball with you and
Yeah.
your team.
Appreciate you guys coming and checking in on our guys, and hopefully they didn't say anything too.
They were wonderful.
Too edgy.
They were wonderful, and they're big
I-
fans of you too.
No,
So
I'm big fans of those guys,
Yeah.
and this is my 6th year here, and I think it gets to be kind of special when you see these guys develop.
Oh, yeah.
From the time that they're in the 6th, 7th grade to what they become by the time that they're walking out the door at the end of their last season.
We can't wait to see what this season brings for
Yeah.
the Vikes too.
Absolutely, we're
Thanks.
excited about it.
We are
Oh, yeah.
too. Hey, thanks for watching this week's Go to the Hoop podcast. We'll see you soon, probably at a basketball game.